Princeton. And we're excited to have with us today Aaron Kaufman to present the KW effect. So we're just going to turn it over to Aaron. Let him.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it, Frank. No doubt, man. Thanks for having me. Super grateful, Nicole. Thanks for all your help in getting this set up as well. I know some of you probably taken my full 3-hour class. This is going to be a 2-hour version. So I'm going to save you guys from the Aaron Kaufman story. Just drank a 5-hour energy. So I'm going to try to go pack all this information into this 2-hour session. I'm about to go turbo mode, guys. If you have any questions, any ahas, I want you to throw them into the chat box. At the end of this session, I'll answer any questions you might have, and we can talk as long as you like, all right? But I'm going to jump right into this, all right? So there's a great quote I heard from Gary Keller back in 2008. I think it's pretty appropriate for the moment. And he said, the greatest shift of wealth and opportunity are in down cycles, not up cycles. And companies that take market share in a recession rarely give it up. And guys, I was very excited about how Keller Williams was positioned before this shift and this crisis. I'm just telling you right now, I've never been more excited about how we're positioned right now. And look, you've got to believe in where we're going as a company, because there's no question our profit share money is going to dip for the next year or so. So you have to believe in something more than just your next check. But I'm just telling you guys, I think we are literally on the precipice of probably one of the biggest growth spurts in the history of Keller Williams. I mean, bottom line is we were born in a shift. We took over this industry in a shift. And I'm just telling you right now, we are literally about to redefine this industry in the present shift. But you know what? A shift is an opportunity to do things different. And I think, we have to be honest with ourselves and understand that less than 30% of our agents even participate in profit share. And less than that probably understand our value proposition at a high level. So that's what has me so excited about the moment we're in right now. There is so much room for improvement just within our own company. I mean, Frank, can you imagine what your market center would look like if the majority of your agents were participating in profit share and they were thinking and acting like a stakeholder? I mean, what would it look like from a cultural perspective, from a growth perspective, from a retention perspective? I mean, how much bigger would all of our profit share checks be right now? All right. So that's what has me so excited, guys. Look, I want to grow Keller Williams. I want to tell our story to all the agents that are not in business with us. But what I want to do first is make sure the people we are already in business with understand our story and feel comfortable in how they communicate it at a high level. So here's the deal. It's not your job to recruit. That's Frank's job. Frank is your #1 recruiting tool. Your job is to excite the recruit, do the best job you can to pre-qualify them, secure the appointment with Frank, and follow up. And today I'm going to try to share with you some concepts and conversations that I think are going to help you meet that standard so that you can get more purposeful about growing this company and get into higher level, more authentic conversations. All right. First concept I want to talk about comes from a guy named Simon Sinek. I know a lot of you know who Simon Sinek is. He was supposed to be our keynote speaker at Family Reunion, but he had the flu. But guys, Simon Sinek is a marketing and communications guru. He consults with top companies, top organizations. He helps them create their marketing and communication strategies. He's written several books. One book is called Start With Why. Another book is called Find Your Why. But he has an incredible TED Talk video called The Golden Circle. And if you've not watched this 18-minute TED Talk video, I cannot recommend enough to you that you need to find it, okay, on YouTube. But here's the Golden Circle, guys, all right? Now, in the middle of the Golden Circle, you've got why, how, and what, okay? Why, how, what? Now, guys, this is a marketing concept that can basically explain why some people, some organizations can inspire, why some, and Frank, if you guys would just mute everybody when they come in, that would be great. Yourself, okay? Now, here's the deal. The Golden Circle is a concept that can explain why some people, some organizations can inspire, why some companies can create true consumer loyalty, and why others can't. All right, now let me quickly define these things for you. Everybody on this call, every organization, every company knows what they do or what they sell. My guess is most of the people on this call probably know how they do what they do. And at Keller Williams, we call that your unique selling proposition or your USP. But my guess is very few people on this call, very few organizations, very few companies truly understand why they do what they do and know how to incorporate that into their marketing. Now, here's what Simon Sinek did. He looked back at history, at the leaders and the organizations that were able to inspire, the companies that could create true consumer loyalty. And what he realized was this: they all communicated exactly the same way and completely the opposite of everybody else. Now, here's the way most people and companies tend to communicate. They tend to communicate the natural way, from the clearest to the fuzziest, from the outside in. They say what they do or what they sell. They say how they're different or how they're unique, and then they expect some sort of action or response. We make the best cars, they get the best gas mileage, don't you want to buy one? That's the way most people and companies tend to communicate, guys, from the outside in. But what Simon Sinek found was that the people who were able to inspire, the companies that created true consumer loyalty, they all communicated exactly the opposite, from the inside out, from their why. So let me give you a couple examples of this at work. I'm sure there's some people on this call that are diehard Apple consumers, the company, not the fruit, okay? But I think we all can agree that Apple consumers are very loyal to Apple. We agree? I mean, some would say fanatical. I think it's fair to say that Apple is a lifestyle brand. It's a line in the sand, right? Either your Mac or your PC. But here's the deal, guys. There's a reason why Apple consumers are so loyal to Apple, and this is why. When Apple came out over 40 years ago, there were many computer companies that had the exact same access to the same talent and the same resources. But why is Apple where Apple is today? This is why. Here's what all of Apple's competition's marketing has sounded like for the last 40 plus years. They're competitions. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed and easy to use. Don't you want to buy one? That's the way Apple's competition has always marketed themselves, is from the outside in. Well, you know what? Steve Jobs, he was kind of a smart guy, all right? And he said, you know what? We're going to be completely different from all of our competition. We're going to build our entire company around our why. And Apple's why is we're going to challenge the status quo. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to build our own operating systems, beautifully designed and easy to use products. We just so happen to make great computers. Now, guys, that explains why people don't just buy computers from Apple. They buy phones from Apple. They buy TVs from Apple. They buy watches from Apple. But at the end of the day, Apple is just a computer company, but they connect with their customers on a deeper level. Now, hopefully that makes a little sense, because I'm going to put a real estate spin on this. Two real estate agents. They both sell the most houses in the neighborhood. They both go on a listing presentation in that neighborhood. First agent goes on that listing presentation. Here is what their presentation sounds like. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm the best agent in your neighborhood. I sell the most houses. I've got the best marketing plan. Don't you want to hire me? Okay, sound familiar? Second agent goes on this listing presentation. Here's what their presentation sounds like. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? I'm actually driven by something more than just selling your house. I want to create customers for life. And the way I create customers for life is I commit to being the local real estate expert. I operate with a high level of integrity. I've got great customer service, great communication skills. I just so happen to sell the most houses in your neighborhood. Now, obviously the second agent has a more powerful listing presentation. And the quote you need to write down or try to remember from the golden circle is this. Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Now, guys, I'll tell you right now, if all you take from my session today is applying the golden circle to your real estate business, you will thank me for that. I guarantee you on the next listing appointment you go on, every agent you're competing against, they'll all be marketing themselves from the outside in. If you can be the one agent that comes from the inside out, that is how you'll connect with the seller on a deeper level. All right, now high D's, here's where I'm going with this conversation. We know at Keller Williams, all of our whats are better here, right, Frank? I mean, do we not have the best training, the best education, the best technology, the best culture, the best leadership? Of course we do. But then we get frustrated when we share all of those things with an agent that's not receiving any of that stuff at their real estate company. We get frustrated when they don't want to find out more about Keller Williams. Well, the reason they don't want to find out more, guys, is because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. So the goal of my session today is very simple. Today, I'm going to try to communicate how you can share the KW value proposition at the highest level from the inside out. Because I'm telling you right now, if the agents you were trying to attract to KW actually understood why and how this company was really different, they would already be here by now, okay? And look, this is the same reason why less than 30% of our agents even participate in profit share. When we try to inspire our agents to participate in profit share, we dangle the carrot of the profit share money in front of their face. And we say, hey, don't you want to earn profit share? Don't you want to make passive income for you and your family? I mean, guys, there's not one KW associate in this company that doesn't want to earn more profit share and make more passive income for their family. Well, why is less than 30% of them participating in it? It's because profit share money is a what? It doesn't drive behavior. I'll just tell you right now, I could have cared less how much money I could have made in profit share if I wasn't first having a high level experience at Keller Williams as an agent, and second, believed in who we were as a company. All right, so here's the deal, Frank. If we're going to inspire our agents to participate more in profit share and start thinking and acting like a true stakeholder, we need to make sure our own agents understand our value proposition from the inside out. But if we're going to do that effectively, we're going to have to add another circle to the golden circle, guys, because at Keller Williams, we got another circle, and that circle is right here in the middle. And that circle at Keller Williams is the who. Did Apple have a who? Yeah, his name is Steve Jobs. Does Keller Williams have a who? Yeah, his name is Gary Keller. And I think it's fair to say that our company's why is tethered to Gary Keller's why. Yes? I mean, what does Gary say? When I die, my headstone will say I'm a realtor. Paranoid Gary wakes up every morning worried about his agent partners. Does anybody on this call think Gary Keller is driven by making another $1 billion? Does anybody on this call think Gary Keller is going to take us public? Let me tell you something, guys. This guy is working harder than he's ever worked in his entire career. All right, this is Gary Keller's legacy moment, okay? And he is going to do everything he can to protect the future role of agents in an industry that's now trying to eliminate them. So here's my very first action step for you today. If you really want to get purposeful about growing your profit share, you need to listen to Gary Keller's podcast called Think Like a CEO. Gary will take you from why he got into real estate, how his why shaped who we are as a company, and how his why will shape who we are moving forward. I'll just tell you right now, you cannot have a high-level conversation about Keller Williams if you don't understand who Gary Keller is and what his big why is, okay? I would start with that first, all right? Now, I saw a great interview with Simon Sinek, okay? And this was last year. Somebody asked Simon Sinek, they said, in the digital age, and guys, we ain't just in the digital age, we are literally smack dab in the middle of the most extended digital experience of our lifetime. But last year, somebody asked Simon Sinek, they said, in the digital age, what will people be craving from their workplace and their employer? And here's what Simon Sinek said. He said, in the digital age, people are going to be craving a sense of purpose and a sense of community. And I want you guys to think about that for a second. A sense of purpose and a sense of community. All right, let's talk about purpose for a second. Okay, we're not just led by the most innovative mind this industry has ever seen. This guy's got a 40-year track record for being the agent advocate in our industry. And even though he's got the #1 real estate company on this planet under one brand with zero debt and still very profitable, he's completely reinventing his entire company for the sole purpose of saving all agents from an industry that's dominated by publicly traded real estate companies and Wall Street backed tech disruptors that are trying to turn agents into low paying functionaries. So what I'm thinking is that's a pretty good recipe for owning purpose in our industry as we move forward. Let's talk about community, guys. You are a part of the only privately held, agent-centric, interdependent real estate company where agents are vested in a true common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. So I don't know about you, I think that's a pretty good recipe for owning community in our industry as we move forward. And here's where I'm going with this. I think as we go deeper into the digital age, I think our purpose and our community is going to be even more valuable. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I don't know about you, in a world that seems to be spiraling out of control. I mean, I've been quarantined for 4 months, okay? I get a little bit of peace in my heart knowing that I'm a part of a global real estate company of 180,000 stakeholders that are all vested in a common goal. And God forbid something bad happens to me or a natural disaster happens to me. You know, I get a little bit of peace in my heart knowing that I'm a part of something bigger, okay? And guys, I got to tell you this, you know, I could honestly care less what our publicly traded competitions compensation models are. Their who and their why, it ain't big enough for me, okay? And what do you think a shareholder of a publicly traded real estate company cares more about in this shift? The well-being of their agents and their future role in this industry, or their stock price? And so guys, understand this. When it comes to our competition, in the absence of value, price will be their only conversation. I am not having the price conversation with people. I'm having the purpose and community conversation with people. And Frank, there's a brand new MAPS course that's coming out right now. It's called How to Build a $1 Million Market Center. The 2 foundational principles of a $1 million market center: purpose and community. And guys, I'll just tell you right now, there is nobody in this industry that can compete with us for purpose and community, okay? Now, the second concept I want to talk about comes from Stephen Covey, who wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, Stephen Covey says, there is a natural evolution that very successful people go through from a mindset standpoint to be successful. And here's what Stephen Covey says, guys. He says, everybody starts in a dependent mindset. You are born, you are dependent on your family to take care of you. Then a portion of those people evolve into an independent mindset. Some of you guys might have some college grads still living with you that need to evolve, all right? But the most successful people, the most effective people, they ultimately evolve into an interdependent mindset. Now, hopefully everybody on this call agrees, working through people, success through others, teamwork is more conducive to being successful at a higher level than just doing it on your own, okay? Now, here's where I'm going with this, guys. Gary Keller was reading this book right about the time he came out with the Keller-Williams model. And Gary Keller had his big aha moment. And here's what Gary Keller's aha moment was. What Stephen Covey is talking about is actually an analogy for the real estate industry. And I want you guys to pay attention because this is everything, okay? For some of my younger agents on this call, you need to know how this industry used to always work. 40 plus years ago, if you wanted to go look at a house, this is literally what you would have to do. You would have to physically go down to the local real estate office, where you would then flip through a 3-ring binder, because that's where all the listing information was. And then those companies would get you access into a home. So guys, back in the day, real estate companies controlled the information. They controlled access into homes. And guess what? The real estate companies did the best job marketing their company's brands to home buyers and sellers. They got all the business. And then agents went to go work for those companies that could generate business, where of course they then treated you like an employee. They took half of your commissions and they taught you how to service their business. So guys, back in the day, there was only one kind of real estate company, the traditional, dependent, brand-centric models, Caldwell Bankers, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, okay? This used to be much more of an employer-employee relationship. Hey, back in the day, real estate companies and their brands, they were the product of this industry. Okay, then this little thing happened, guys, called the internet. And now all of a sudden, all this information that real estate companies are controlling, well, now it's freely accessible to home buyers and sellers, right? I mean, today you can literally buy a house without even stepping foot in it, okay? So check this out. When the internet happened, a shift happened in our industry, and this is what the shift was. The product of our industry shifted from the real estate companies and their brands to the real estate agents and their relationships and their negotiating skills and their customer service. And right about the time the internet happened, guys, something else happened in this industry. Out came the independent model, the 100% companies, RE/MAX, Realty Executives. And guess what happened when the independent models came out? All these agents over at these dependent companies that started to realize, wait a second, I'm the reason I do business, not my real estate company. Why am I giving up half of my commissions when all I get is lockboxes, signs, and a golden blazer? Well, shoot, I might as well just come over to this independent company where I'm not going to get anything for what I'm paying, but I get to control my costs and make 95, 100% of my commission. So guys, when RE/MAX came out with their independent model, they absolutely exploded in our industry. Because at that time, the independent model was the best option for agents that thought like business owners. So look, if the dependent model was an employer-employee relationship, the RE/MAX model was more of a landlord-tenant relationship. At RE/MAX, you used to be able to just pay them an upfront franchise fee of $1,500, $1,800 a month. You don't get a lot of training and support, but you make 95, 100% of your commission, and you have the honor or the privilege of marketing the RE/MAX balloon. Okay, so Gary realized that what Stephen Covey was talking about was ultimately going to be the next evolution of our industry. And Gary said, you know what? I might as well be the first person to do it. All right, and I hope we all agree on this call that Keller Williams is an interdependent model, correct? I mean, are we not in a partnership with our brokers and our owners? Are we not trying to build something bigger together here, right? And I'm not just talking about profit share. Are we not building technology in collaboration with our agents that's designed to help them out Zillow? So guys, I hope we all agree that Keller Williams is an interdependent model. And understand this, there's a reason we took over this industry in 35 years without spending a dime marketing our logo. It's because we are the highest evolution of the real estate industry. And I hope you guys agree that when actually bought into, and of course it requires all of you to buy into it, but when bought into, interdependence beats independence and dependence 100% of the time, okay? But guys, it takes a village. I mean, Frank's obviously a great team leader. You've got great ownership, but if the agents don't buy into it, or the agents are buying into it and ownership doesn't buy into it, guess what? It doesn't work. Interdependence takes a village, okay? Now, Gary Keller's got an absolutely brilliant quote about this flow chart. And here's what Gary Keller says. Gary Keller says, a real estate agent cannot go from dependent to interdependent without going through independent first. Interdependence is only a decision independent agents can make. So let me translate that for you. It is just as important to know what you're saying and how you are saying it as it is who you are saying it to. Guys, if you're trying to attract an agent to KW who's not ready to first be independent, i.e. generate their own leads, I'll promise you this, the last thing they care about is interdependence. They don't care about culture. They don't care about leadership. They don't care about purpose and community. What they care about is what kind of leads are you giving me? How much does it cost? What do I get? And what are my splits? And by the way, there is nothing wrong with that mentality, but this might not be the best place for you to start your real estate career. Now look, I know there's a place at Keller Williams for dependent agents on our teams. That is not the conversation I'm having right now, okay? I'm talking about agents that want to be their own agents and their own business owners. I mean, we all agree that if an agent doesn't want to generate their own leads, they're probably not going to like Keller Williams too much, right? Because guys, we don't give you leads, do we? We teach you how to fish, yes? Now here's where I'm going with this. Just because an agent is thinking like a dependent agent or they are at a dependent company does not mean they're not a fit for KW. They just don't know what they don't know, okay? So here's my recommendation for you. Instead of trying to jam our interdependent value proposition down their dependent throats, which they're probably not ready to receive yet, here's what you got to do first. You got to get into relationships, okay? You got to come from contribution, and you got to help draw this dependent thinking agent to an independent mindset first. Once you get a dependent agent thinking more independently like a business owner, now they're thinking bigger than the narrative of their real estate company, and they're a lot more closer to interdependence, okay? And I want you guys to listen to how my recruiting phone calls go, because look, I've sponsored over 400 agents to Keller Williams. Every single one of them came off the internet. Most of them were brand new to the business or newer in the business. Most of them had a dependent mindset, okay? But let me tell you how my conversations go, okay? It always starts with their why. So start with why. There are two whys at play here. The recruit's why and Keller Williams' why. If these two whys don't match, this ain't gonna work. So here's how every one of my conversations starts. I ask every recruit, tell me your story. What's your big why? Now here's the cool thing about asking a recruit what their big why is. Number one, you'll be the only person that ever asks them that. Two, you can be the only person that can show them how they can achieve it. Three, you have something to hold them accountable to. And four, guys, I promise you this, they all say the same thing. If you would just ask a recruit what their big why is, they're all going to tell you the same thing. They all want more money. They all want more time. Some of them just got laid off. They want more control. Some of them make good money, but they spend all their time traveling away from their family. The bottom line is, if you would just ask a recruit what their big why is, they'll all tell you the same thing. They all want a better quality of life for them and their family. I mean, look, when you ask a seller what their big why is, don't they all say the same thing? I want more money, least amount of hassles, least amount of time. Well, all recruits want the same thing: more money, more time, better quality of life. Now, when I can get a recruit to verbalize to me at the beginning of our conversations that they want to build a better quality of life for them and their family, here's what my response is to them without this tone. I say, hey, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Oh, by the way, you ain't going to get any of that in a real estate career till you take ownership of generating your own leads. In a real estate career, quality of life happens at lead generation. And am I speaking the truth today? Okay. And guys, look, you can have a good life on a team, but you ain't going to have as good of a life as the person that's running the team, who's generating the leads and is leveraging you to work their leads. All right. So if you want control, if you want an unlimited glass ceiling of achievement, if you want all the flexibility that a real estate career can provide you, it starts with generating your own leads. All right. So what I try to do, guys, is that look, I want to be very clear here too. Okay, when you're doing internet recruiting or you're cold calling people or you're trying to attract people to Keller Williams you do not have a relationship with, here's the deal. You have to actually provide more value than somebody that has a relationship. I cannot rely on a personal relationship to get the sponsorship. I have to earn it. And guys, my mentality with recruiting is very simple. I have two customers: the recruit and the leadership team of the market center I'm referring them to. At the end of the day, I want both of my customers to think I value what's best for them than what's best for me. So here's the great thing about having a conversation about it with a recruit about leads, listings, and leverage. And I hope that rings a bell for you guys, because if it doesn't, please pick up the MREA book on the way out today. Okay, but here's the deal. Leads, listings, and leverage is such a great way for me to position myself as a person of value, okay? But secondly, it's also a great way to simultaneously pre-qualify them. So when I get a recruit to tell me what their big why is, they want to build a better quality of life for them and their family, guess what? I'm going to show them how they achieve it, okay? And when I teach my class in person, I ask people to raise their hands. I say, look, who's been selling real estate in this room for 15, 20 years? And people will raise their hands. And I'll say, can you imagine if somebody handed you an MREA book 15, 20 years ago? Or talked to you about leads, listings, and leverage? You think that might have changed the trajectory of your real estate career? I mean, guys, I was in this business for 3 years at Coldwell Banker before I came to Keller Williams and realized, wait a second, I'm not in the real estate business. I'm in the lead generation business, right? And I want to be very clear, guys. I tether myself to the process, not the results, meaning I get fulfillment out of helping people. If they end up joining KW, that's great. If they end up putting me down as your sponsor, that's great too. But if I'm in the business of helping these people, I win every time. So I talk to every recruit about leads, listings, and leverage. And here's what I'm trying to do. If they're a dependent thinking recruit, I'm trying to draw them to an independent mindset through contribution. If I don't scare the crap out of them by independence, then we talk about Keller Williams. But if they don't like the way the leads part of that conversation's going, they get what's called the short script, which is, hey, we might have a team in your market looking for a more dependent agent. That's a 5-minute conversation, okay? The bottom line is this, Frank, do you want me to pack your recruiting calendar full of a bunch of dependent recruits that want to know what their base salary is and what kind of leads you're providing them? Or do you want me to pack your recruiting calendar full of independent business-minded agents that are going to value interdependence, right? And guys, Frank, I want you to view me as a source of ongoing quality referrals. If I sent you every lead I got off the internet, you would not answer my phone calls, okay? So understand that I'm trying to excite the recruit, but I'm also trying to figure out, do they value what we value? If I'm gonna ask Frank to spend an hour of his time meeting with a recruit, it might be helpful if I've done a little bit of pre-qualifying along the way. So leads, listings, and leverage is a great way to provide value and to also pre-qualify people. All right, now, so that's for dependent thinking recruits. Draw them to independence, get into relationships, take mind share. If you can get them to an independent mindset, now they're thinking bigger than their dependent company, and now the idea of an interdependent real estate company is probably gonna resonate more with them, all right? Now, when it comes to independent agents or experienced agents, the analogy I've always heard was diagnose the patient, find the pain. Keller Williams is the medicine cabinet. Now, the pain for most experienced or independent agents is no one's ever taught them how to run a business. No one's ever taught them how to attract talent, leverage systems. No, they don't have an exit strategy. Find the pain. Keller Williams is the medicine cabinet. But I'll give you my analogy for independent agents or experienced agents. Attracting independent experienced agents to Keller Williams is kind of like dating. If you want to date somebody that is in a relationship, you do not try to break them up. You become their friend, you become someone they respect. Then you wait for their boyfriend or girlfriend to screw it up. And guys, if you don't think their publicly traded real estate company or their independent company is not going to screw it up in this shift, you ain't paying attention. They're pulling back. They're not leaning in like Keller Williams. So if you don't feel comfortable being aggressive and going after these agents, get into relationships with them, take mind share, okay, come from contribution, wait for their real estate company to screw it up, and be positioned to show them a better path. And that's why the second action step I have for you is you need to join the powerful Facebook group called Pivot Shift Ahead. If you are not in that group, guys, you need to get into that group and you need to add agents from other companies into that group. It was started by Keller Williams agents. It's now open to all agents. It's got top Keller Williams agents sharing their ideas. People like Jay Papazan, who co-wrote the MREA book, are sharing ideas in there. What better way to show an independent agent the value of an interdependent company than to get them into that group and let them experience Keller Williams in a non-aggressive way. And by the way, the best way to get an independent agent's attention is to expose them to an agent that does more business than them, that has a bigger life than them, who's willing to share with them how they do it, okay? Now, I actually have a theory about these independent agents. I mean, Frank and I were talking early on. Independent agents and independent brokerages are the hot recruits these days. But here's the deal, guys. In 3 to 5 years, maybe even sooner, these independent agents are not going to exist anymore because they're not going to be able to compete for the consumer okay? So an independent agent or an independent brokerage is basically gonna have two choices. Do I become a low-paying functionary for a Wall Street-backed tech disruptor, or do I join the obvious choice for the true real estate professional? And Gary said something last year that really stuck with me. He said, I feel sorry for agents that are not going to be in business with us in the future. And people were like, oh my God, he's so cocky. What they don't understand is Gary actually believes that. He knows that if agents are not going to be in business with Keller Williams in the future, they're not going to be able to compete with our agents for the consumer when it comes to the digital experience and the price offer. So the bottom line is independent agents, they have two choices: become a low-paying functionary for a Wall Street-backed tech disruptor, or join the obvious choice for the true real estate professional, okay? Now, I believe there's only three general reasons an agent would ever leave our company. There's only three general reasons an agent would ever leave Keller Williams, and here they are. First reason an agent would leave Keller Williams: they were never ready to be independent in the first place. They come here, they don't want to generate their own leads. They're going to hate Keller Williams because they are a dependent agent. Second reason an agent would leave our company: they never bought into our interdependent value proposition. Either we didn't explain it to them the right way, or they just didn't care. Either way, they never come into the office. They never offer to teach classes. They never help other agents. They don't seek out knowledge and referrals outside their market center. They don't participate in our culture and donate to KW Cares. They don't help us evolve our tech. They don't care about growth and profitability. And they think buying leads from Zillow is okay. And so they leave Keller Williams because they are an independent agent. But let me tell you the third reason an agent would leave Keller Williams. That's if we are not delivering on that. And there's a quote I love, guys: in the absence of value, price becomes the determining factor. Let me take a wild guess here. We ain't the cheapest place for an agent to be an agent in Princeton. Let me guess, there's another company in Princeton that'll offer your agents a higher commission split. But here's the deal, guys. If we are truly delivering on this at the highest level, agents who value what we value will do more business, they'll net more money, they'll build a better quality of life, and they should never leave our company. And know this: if an agent who values what we value leaves our company and goes to one of these other companies, just know this: it's on all of us, okay? Frank can't deliver on interdependence if the agents don't buy into it, and the agents can't deliver on it if Frank and ownership don't buy into it. Interdependence takes a village, okay? And here comes a great analogy for you. A real estate agent who only cares about what do I get, how much does it cost, what kind of leads do I get, or what are my splits, versus where I'm going to do more business, net more money, and build a better quality of life. Guys, that's just like a seller who only cares about what your listing commission is versus how fast their house sells and how much money is in their pocket at closing, okay? And Simon Sinek has a great quote. I'll put a real estate spin on it. He basically says, it's not about being in business with every agent that needs what you offer. It's about being in business with the agents that believe what you believe. Guys, every agent in Princeton needs what we have to offer. They all need our training, our support, our culture, our technology, our purpose, our community. But they don't all value what we value, right? And guys, that's the deal with Keller Williams. We don't need to be in business with everybody. We just need to be in business with the agents that believe what we believe. Now, somebody said something really interesting to me last year. They said, Aaron, what's the next evolution of our industry? What's the greatest threat to Keller Williams? Check out the answer to that. All right, guys. The dependent and independent models were brand centric, right? So over here in dependent, you have Caldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's. Independent was Remax, okay? These companies were brand centric. Keller Williams took over the industry by being the first agent centric company. Well, check this out, guys. The good news is Keller Williams is already the next evolution of this industry, because Keller Williams is now a technology company that is consumer-centric, okay? We are a technology consumer-centric company that's building the preferred technology platform for agents to run their businesses at. And there are some companies out there, guys, right now that love to just say as their narrative, oh, we're Keller Williams, except we're cheaper with a higher upside, okay? Or they'll say, hey, we're agent owned, even though we're a publicly traded company. Let me quote Gary Keller for you. We're not even the real estate company you're trying to emulate anymore. We are a technology consumer-centric company now. Understand this, guys, our competition, they're trying to fight us here. We're already a consumer-centric company, and you better believe moving forward, guys, it's all about the consumer, okay? And understand this, I have a great t-shirt, and it says, there is no catch-up, and it's a mustache with a bottle of ketchup. You know, Gary said that line last year. He said, there is no catch-up, and I want you guys to understand something. Gary saw what was happening in this industry 5 years ago with Redfin and Zillow. That's when he made a decision to shift us from a real estate company into a technology company. And a couple years ago, Gary claimed at Family Reunion, we're a technology company now. And everybody freaked out, okay? And there were people like Brian Buffini who said, Gary's gonna take us public because he wants a higher valuation as a technology company. What people need to understand is Gary wasn't claiming we were a technology company and announcing that to the real estate industry. He was announcing that to technology talent that don't want to work in a technology department. They want to work for a technology company. There's a reason we have engineers in Austin, Texas from SpaceX and Watson, guys. So understand this, we're not just led by the most innovative mind this industry's ever seen. This guy saw 5 years what was happening. He decided, I'm going to shift us into a technology company, and I'm going to make $1 billion investment in a proprietary tech platform that I'm going to build in collaboration with our agents. And there's a great book you should check out. It's called Platform Revolution. Let me break it down for you. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution, guys. It's about big data. It's about AI. Keller Williams was the first company to build a proprietary tech platform. So we were the first to the platform. At that time, we were we're still the number one real estate company in this industry. So guess what? We had the most data. Now we have the most agents helping us evolve our tech. There is no catch-up, guys. If our competition today wanted to build a proprietary tech platform, it would take them 3 years. Just know that we are so far ahead of our competition, there is no catch-up. And I'll just tell you right now, we've already won, okay? There is no other real estate company that's going to compete with us for the consumer experience. The only competition we have is Redfin and Zillow, okay? Now I want to get into my scripts, okay? One of the things I always found myself saying to a recruit on the phone, and it started coming out after hundreds of conversations, I would say, look, if you would just understand the whys of real estate companies, the whats would make a lot more sense to you. Think about that. If you understand the whys of real estate companies, the whats would make a lot more sense. Now, does that sound a little bit like the golden circle to you, right? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Well, here's the big why of our industry, guys. The big why of the real estate industry is something very simple to understand. It is simply the concept of agent loyalty. Hopefully, everybody in this call agrees that buyers and sellers hire you because of you. And they don't care if you're at Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, or Sotheby's. And if there was a better place for you to run your business at and build quality of life at, I would expect you to be there by now. So you would think if you could build a real estate company, agents would never want or need to leave. I don't know. Might give you a slight advantage over your competition. So guys, I'm gonna take you to 2 flow charts. First flow chart I'm gonna go through here is what creates agent loyalty at Keller Williams in theory. That's our big why. If we're truly delivering on our interdependent value proposition, agents who value what we value will do more business, they'll net more money, and they should never leave. That's gonna be our big why, agent loyalty. Once I establish our big why, I'm gonna show you how that why of agent loyalty can explain why all the whats are better here and why all the whats at our competition are not. And I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. First flow chart, what creates agent loyalty at Keller Williams in theory? Well, guess what, guys? It starts with the highest evolution of the real estate industry, which is the interdependent model. Now, we just went through that flow chart. For some of you that don't know the history of Keller Williams, you need to know it, okay? Here's the deal. Gary Keller was running a one-office real estate company in the late 70s in Austin, Texas. Gary was running an old-fashioned, traditional, dependent real estate company that had about 100 agents in Austin, Texas. Then in the late 70s, the market shifted. And guess what happened, guys? RE/MAX came into Austin, Texas with the independent model. And guess what happened? All of Gary's agents left his company and they went to RE/MAX because it was a better model. So Gary literally went from 100 agents to 35 agents overnight. He got those remaining agents together. He said, look, what do we have to do to survive and grow as a company? And these agents said, Gary, we need better training. We need better support. We want a higher commission split. We want to have a say in the direction of our company. And we want to share in the revenue. So Gary realized in that moment, the next evolution of this industry is going to be what Stephen Covey was talking about. And Gary said, you know what? I'm going to be the first person to do it. I'm going to be the first person to build an interdependent real estate company where I treat my agents as partners, or as what we call you at Keller Williams, stakeholders. Now, here's a very important sidebar conversation, guys. When we first launched in '83, Keller Williams was actually a revenue sharing company, not a profit sharing company. Let me tell you how a revenue sharing company works. I attract you to my company. I make a percentage of every deal you close until you cap, regardless of the profitability of my company. Now, I'm not the most business savvy guy in the world, but I'm pretty sure if profitability is not the most important thing in your business, it's not the most sustainable model. But guys, even as the very first revenue sharing residential real estate company, even as that, we were the highest evolution of our industry. And over the next 6 years, Keller Williams exploded. The problem was we were not profitable. So Gary went to a compensation expert. And by the way, he talks about this in his podcast, Think Like a CEO. He went to a compensation expert who told him two things. One, you are rewarding the wrong behavior. Two, being a revenue sharing company is negatively affecting your culture. And I want you guys to understand something here. Revenue share creates a downline relationship. Profit share creates a culture of sharing company-wide. And if you participate in profit share, know this, you are not just vested in the success of the agents in your profit share tree. You are also vested in the success of every agent in your profit share tree's market centers too. That's what makes us so different from a revenue sharing company, guys. Our culture starts with profit share. Now, here comes the most important part of my whole session today. Please pay attention, okay? Because I'm about to take it up a notch for you. When you come out with the highest evolution of the real estate industry, which is the interdependent model, and for the first time ever, agents are being treated like stakeholders, an amazing thing happens, guys. Now your agents feel a true sense of ownership, or that they have a true ownership stake in your real estate company. And I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Because when I am talking to a recruit or to one of our own agents, here is how I define the ownership stake we have at Keller Williams. Here's how I define what it means to be a KW stakeholder. Okay, guys, I define being a KW stakeholder as having a real say in the direction of my local market center all the way up to the top of my company. And obviously at Keller Williams, we actually have a say, right? Through the ALC, the regional ALC, the IALC. Do we not fly our top agents out to Austin, Texas to help us build this billion-dollar tech platform? Are we not the ones that are going to help evolve it? So I hope we all agree at Keller Williams, we have a real say in the direction of our local market center all the way up to the top of our company. I don't know of another real estate company that gives their agents a say, okay? Second definition of being a KW stakeholder, I get to look at the books. Guys, we're the only open book real estate company in this entire industry. And if you're going to be a profit sharing real estate company, you're going to make your agents believe in it. You got to be an open book, transparent company. If you haven't jumped on the internet, guys, you need to jump on there. Every agent's production, every agent's profit share, every market center's profitability, wide open to you. We are the only open book real estate company in this entire industry. Third definition of being a KW stakeholder, is I'm a part of a market center and a company where agents have a true vested interest in a common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's dominated by publicly traded real estate companies and has always been dog eat dog. And guys, we're not just vested in the profitability of Keller Williams, we're vested in the purpose of Keller Williams, which is to save agents from an industry that's now trying to eliminate them. And the fourth definition of being a KW stakeholder is I have the option to share in the profits. 100% of KW associates are a stakeholder in their market center in this company, but unfortunately less than 30% of them are being financially rewarded for that ownership stake. So let's do that one more time. I define being a KW stakeholder as having a real say in the direction of my local market center and company. I get to look at the books. I'm a part of a market center and a company where agents are vested in a true common goal and have a real incentive to work together and care about each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. And I have the option to share in the profits. And guys, I want you to understand something here. Whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of your market center and this company. Now, if you got purposeful about profit share, well, then you'd be taking a greater ownership stake in this company because you'd be financially rewarded too. But whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of your market center and this company. And let me show you why. I think it's fair to say, Frank, the more profitable that Princeton Market Center becomes, I expect the more money and resources to be reinvested back into your agents, yeah? The better the training, the education, the technology, the support, the office space is going to be. Does that benefit your agents, whether they ever earn a cent in profit share or not? Of course it does. I think the more profitable the Princeton Market Center becomes, I don't know, guys, I'm thinking probably the better the energy and the culture of sharing is going to be, because agents will be galvanized by something bigger than their own real estate businesses. Does that benefit you to be in a market center with great energy and great culture, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? Of course it does. I think the more we grow your market center, I expect the more Keller Williams for sale signs to go up in sellers' yards around Princeton. Oh yeah, heads up. You're a part of a real estate company that spends no money marketing itself. And the only way we can build our brand reputation and recognition in Princeton is by our agent signs going up in sellers' yards. Does that benefit all of you, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? I bet it's a lot easier to be a KW agent in Princeton than it was 15 years ago, okay? I'm thinking the more we grow your market center, I expect the more of your agents, Frank, to donate to KW Cares, participate in Red Day, the greater the impact this market center and this company can make in your agents' lives and the community. Does that benefit you, whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not? And think about this for a second, guys. If we just keep doing this right, in 5 to 7 years, there's going to be over 300,000 Keller Williams stakeholders worldwide. Think about that for a second. Think about the advantage we're going to have with 300,000 KW stakeholders. Think about the sharing of ideas. Think about the masterminding flowing through that network. Think about the global referral business flowing through that network. Think about what KW Cares can do with 300,000 stakeholders. Think about the data, the insight, the unfair advantage we're all going to be able to offer our customers. And think about how much of a better chance your real estate company is going to have to beat these Wall Street-backed tech disruptors that are trying to put you all out of business. All right, so here's my point. Whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of your market center and this company. Well, here's the kicker, guys. You're also vested in the failure of it too. Now, you might not think you got a financial risk like the ownership group of your market center does. I'm the guy that's here today to tell you you do have a financial risk. And let me tell you what your financial risk is. By not taking ownership of your market center, by not teaching classes, by not helping other agents, by not participating in Red Day and donating to KW Cares, by continuing to buy leads from Zillow, by not helping us evolve our tech, and for not caring about growth and profitability, let me tell you what your financial risk is. Your financial risk is simply the difference between being in a highly profitable, high culture market center versus being in one that is not. And I'll just tell you right now, I cannot quantify the financial impact that the Atlanta Peachtree Road Market Center has made on my life and my business. And it's got nothing to do with the very little bit of profit share money I make out of it. So you know what, Princeton? I'm going to take it up a notch for you. Whether you like it or not, you got an ownership stake in your market center and this company. I don't know. Maybe you should take more ownership of it or not. It's your family, it's your life, it's your business. But I got a little news flash for you. It's the number one reason to be at Keller Williams. And if you're not going to start thinking and acting like a true stakeholder, if you're not going to teach classes, share your ideas, help other agents, if you're not going to participate in Red Day and donate to KW Cares, if you keep buying leads from Zillow, you don't help us evolve our tech, and you don't care about growth and profitability, I got one simple question for you. Why are you here? Seriously, why are you here? There are cheaper places in Princeton for you to be a real estate agent. There are companies that'll give you a higher percentage of your commission split. I mean, hell, guys, EXP, I know they're not huge in Princeton yet, but all they tout about is how much more money you can make in revenue share than profit share. You know what? You should go check them out. But I'll just tell you right now, the people in this company that think and act like a stakeholder, that buy into our culture, that seek out knowledge and referrals, that help us evolve our tech, that are purposeful about profit share, guys, they will tell you what you put into that, you get back so many times over, okay? So here's my point. Whether you ever earn a cent in profit share or not, you are vested in the success of your market center and this company. And I'll just tell you right now, people say to me all the time, Aaron, thank you for all you do to grow Keller Williams. And here's what my response is. I'm just taking ownership of this real estate company I got a huge financial stake in. Maybe you guys should do the same. Seriously, okay? Now, is it fair to say if our agents are feeling this sense of ownership that they're probably going to buy in more likely into a culture of sharing and caring if they're experiencing that at a high level? And guys, in this next segment, I'm about to defluff Keller Williams for you because man, oh man, have we not fluffed up this company? I mean, we have fluffed it up so much, nobody even knows why anymore. But you start to peel away the layers of that onion, there's a big fat why staring right in your face. And if you can't communicate that why, you cannot communicate our value proposition at the highest level. Look, last time I checked, humans, they're the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not everybody at your competition in Princeton there is evil. There are some good people that buy into teamwork. I also think it's fair to say not everybody at Keller Williams buys into our culture, do they? But there is something different about our culture. Yes, there is something different about KW culture. I mean, look, why is it when I'm in Joplin, Missouri a couple of years ago teaching this class, agents in that classroom are crying because an F5 tornado blew through Joplin, Missouri 9 years ago, leveled our agents' homes. And the way that agents from around this company donated money and packed up U-Haul trucks and drove them to Joplin, Missouri, brought those agents to tears. I don't know if anybody in this call went to Mega Relief 3 years ago, but if you don't know about Mega Relief, let me break it down for you. Twice a year, Keller Williams does 2 huge training events, Family Reunion, Mega Camp. Mega Camp is always held in Austin, Texas. 3 years ago, guys, Hurricane Harvey blew through Houston 1 month before Mega Camp was scheduled. And the Austin Convention Center became a shelter. And 1 month before Mega Camp, KW said, you know what, we're going to pivot this year. We're not doing Mega Camp. We're going to turn Mega Camp into Mega Relief. 4,000 of us descended on Austin, Texas. I spent my own money to fly to Austin, Texas, got a hotel room for 4 nights, to be bused multiple days into Houston, to spend multiple days in that hot Houston sun, helping our agents demuck their homes, okay? And right about the time that was going on, there were fires going on in Northern California that were affecting our agents in Northern California. And KWI said, you know what? We are going to commit to raising over $20 million for our associates affected by these natural disasters. And what you guys need to wrap your brains around, that money did not come from Keller Williams. That money came from us. the stakeholders of Keller Williams. And I'll just tell you right now, I didn't see those RE/MAX agents in Houston, Texas. I didn't see those Sotheby agents in Houston, Texas. And I definitely didn't see those EXP avatars in Houston, Texas. And that is the difference between being a part of a privately held real estate company that answers to their agent partners and being a part of a publicly traded real estate company that answers to Wall Street. It's stakeholders versus shareholders all day long. And guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't think our culture is the #1 reason to be at Keller Williams, I got a news flash for you. You ain't participating in it enough. The 2 years that I was a top sponsoring associate for this entire company, I won the Culture Award from my market center both years. So here's a word of advice. Before you go out there and try to talk the talk, do me a favor. Why don't you try to walk the walk first? And when I teach in person, I start my class off with one question. How important is it for you to believe in what you're selling? Guys, how are you possibly going to authentically communicate the #1 reason to run your business at Keller Williams if you don't participate in it? The answer to that question is you're not, and you're going to have profit share breath, okay? And I'll just tell you right now, this vibe you're getting from me right now, guys, I've taught this class 800 times. I've had 5,000 hour-long recruiting phone calls. You know what comes through every single time? This, because I believe what I'm talking about, okay? And let me quote 2 of the top people in the history of Keller Williams when it comes to culture. First person I'm going to talk about, a quote is Mark Willis, our former CEO. I actually think he said it best. He said at Keller Williams, our culture starts with profit share. And you better wrap your brains around that quote, guys. Our culture starts with profit share. Now, do not mistake profit share for being profitable. You will not be profitable without culture, but you will not have a true culture without profit share. And I know some of you are sitting there saying, did that guy just tether our culture to a financial incentive? Yeah, I did. That's what makes it different, guys. Humans are the good, the bad, and the ugly. Why do they care more about each other and willing to work together more at our company than at other companies? It's because we're the only privately held, interdependent, agent-centric real estate company where agents are treated like partners and they have a true vested interest in a common goal. That is why our culture is different, guys. Remember what I said. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Every real estate company says the same thing. I mean, Frank was telling me all about your local competition, right? That it's family owned, right? And now they're Sotheby's, right? I bet you they talk all the time about how we're one big happy family over here, right? We take care of each other. Well, just ask them a question. Why? Why do your agents take care of each other more at your office than at other companies? And their answer will be because we're family. You know why they work together more at our company? Because it's actually a real incentive, right? We're an interdependent, agent-centric company where agents are vested in a true common goal. Family, doing the right thing, culture, guys, these are all what's, and they don't drive behavior. Ownership stake, that's a why. Learn how to incorporate that why into your conversations about our culture. That's what drives behavior. And look, we all love Mo Anderson, don't we? Oh, Mo, you are the heart of KW. But there's a reason they call Mo Anderson the Velvet Hammer, guys, okay? Do not mistake Mo Anderson for some sweet lady with a big heart. She's one of the most powerful businesswomen to ever step foot on this planet, okay? And Mo said it best. If you're not profitable, you are out of culture. That is coming from Mo Anderson, guys. You better believe profit share and culture are forever connected in this company, okay? So remember what I'm saying here. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Yes, our culture is the #1 reason to be in business with us. But if you can't explain why it's different, you ain't gonna have any success attracting people to this company. Now, is it fair to say if our agents are buying into our interdependent culture, okay, and an independent, dependent industry, my guess is the result of that's gonna be that our agents are gonna be more productive, right? Tough times happen, guess what? We step up. I'm sure there's some people on this call that do a lot of business. I'll guarantee you this, Ben Kinney, he does more business than you. He's got a bigger life than all of us. And at Keller Williams, Ben Kinney has a real incentive to share with you how he does it. So we all agree if we buy into interdependence in an independent, dependent industry, probably the result's going to be our agents are more productive, right? And when our agents are more productive, guess what? Our market center and company is more profitable. Now, we've already established on a local level, the more profitable your market center becomes, Frank, the more money and resources you're reinvesting back in your agents, the better the training, the support, the technology, the culture, the more signs go up, the more data, the more insights. All this stuff makes our agents more productive, which makes our market center more profitable. That's called interdependence, yes? And look, guys, here's the deal. Even in the middle of this crisis, I'm just going to tell you right now, Keller Williams, in the middle of this shift, is still going to give back over $80 million in profit share this year. You guys think it's an advantage to be a part of a real estate company, a privately held real estate company that has zero debt, that's going to give back over $80 million in profit share this year and doesn't answer to Wall Street? You think that's an advantage, right? So guess what? These two things go back and forth. Agents are more productive. Office and companies more profitable. These things go back and forth. And the result of all of this should be, in theory, that if we follow this model, our agents should simply have a better quality of life at Keller Williams. And let's get real, guys. Do we know of another real estate company that takes a more intentional approach to teaching agents how to build wealth and quality of life like we do? I mean, I'm sorry, didn't Gary Keller write the books on this? MREI, hold, flip, shift to one thing. You know, I don't hear these other companies talking about careers worth having, businesses worth running, lives worth living, legacies worth leaving. You know what? I will stand behind this any day of the week. There is no other company that even comes close to how intentional we are about training agents how to build wealth and quality of life. And guys, I say this every time I teach this class. I'm going to say it again. I am not loyal to Keller Williams. I'm not. I'm loyal to quality of life. And I'll just tell you right now, if I thought there was a better real estate company for me to build wealth and quality of life for me and my family, I would already be there by now. And I would expect everybody on this call to do exactly the same thing. And Frank ain't sweating what I'm saying because he knows that he's following the model and that this is the best place for you to build wealth and quality of life. But when I hear an agent say, oh my God, I just love my broker, I would never think about leaving my real estate company. This is what I want to do, and don't do this, okay? I want to shake them, and I want to say, who do you love more, your broker or your family? Because let me tell you something, if your broker really loved you so much, they tell you to take a closer look at KW, where you get better training and support, do more business, net more money, and build a better quality of life. And by the way, is your broker's love for you contingent on you being in business with them? My guess is it is, okay? And I got a hashtag that's going viral because I ain't going to stop using it. And here's my hashtag, guys. It's hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. Oh, you guys know what Stockholm syndrome is? That is when a captive falls in love with their captor. You have agents in Princeton that will literally fight you tooth and nail to defend a broker who is proactively keeping them down. They definitely ain't building proprietary tech to help them lower their technology costs and help them out Zillow. They're definitely not teaching them how to lead generate at a high level. They're trying to convince them it's the company's logo that's driving their business. And if they decide to leave, they hold their listings hostage, okay? Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. That ain't gonna be the last time you hear that today. But I think it's fair to say if there was a better place for 180,000 KW associates to build wealth and quality of life at, I think it's safe to say they would be there by now. Now, hopefully what I've established on this first flow chart is what creates agent loyalty at Keller Williams in theory. And Frank, you get what I'm saying here, man. This is a model, dude. Not every region's created equal. Not every Keller Williams market center is created equal. And when a market center is not profitable, I promise you this, it ain't the model, okay? That's the problem. Okay, interdependence takes a village. Ownership, leadership, staff, and the agents have to buy into it. If agents are going to feel this, buy into this, and result with our agents having a better quality of life at our company. Now that I've established that why, let's get into the nitty-gritty here, because I'm going to show you how that why of agent loyalty can explain why all the what's are better here and why all the what's at our competition are not. So I'm going to take that agent loyalty. I'm going to write it right here. And guys, I'm going to give you 6 what's that can be explained why they're better here because of agent loyalty, and why those same what's are not at our competition because of a lack of agent loyalty. And hopefully everybody remembers the golden circle, because it layers right over the top of this. Agent loyalty is your why, where the arrows enter your what's. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Kathy, please unmute yourself with me a second, okay? First effective agent loyalty, guys, is something I call invest in versus compete with. Let's help Kathy get muted there if you guys don't mind, or anybody that's not muted. All right, first effective agent loyalty is invest in versus compete with. All right, guys, check this out. Remember how we were talking about how the industry used to always work, right? Back in the day, real estate companies controlled the information. They controlled access into homes, okay? And the real estate companies did the best job marketing their company's brand to home buyers and sellers. They got all the business. Now, here's the problem for our competition. That's not the way the industry works anymore. The problem for them is, of course, they're telling the same darn story. I mean, Caldwell Banker's been around for 110 years, guys. They've been telling the same darn story for 110 years. And here's where I'm going with this conversation. Our traditional competition, like Sotheby's, always has, and they always will, value their brands as their greatest asset, not their agents. And now that they're publicly traded, they're going to double down on all their brands, okay? And they're going to keep spending all their money marketing their brands to home buyers and sellers, and marketing their brands to future shareholders. And here's where I'm going with this conversation. If your real estate company values its brand as its greatest asset, and it spends all of its money marketing its brand to home buyers and sellers, I really hope you understand, guys, they are doing that to compete with their agents for business. Oh, don't get it twisted. They're pitching it to their agents like, oh, we're promoting the real estate company you're in business with. But the truth is, guys, they're trying to get in between home buyers and sellers and their agents so they can capture that lead off of their marketing campaign, and then, of course, turn around and sell it back to their agents for a lower split or a referral fee. And I'll just tell you right now, if you don't get that, you don't get the industry you're in, guys. That has been the big scam of our industry for over 100 years, okay? And here's where I'm going with this. Do you know why our competition spends all of their money competing with their agents for business? It's actually pretty simple to figure out. The reason they spend all their money competing with their agents for business is that they know there's a higher evolution of a real estate company out there for their agents to run their businesses at. And if you knew there was a higher evolution of a real estate company out there for your agents to run their businesses at, I don't know, I'm thinking you're probably going to keep spending all your money marketing your brand to home buyers and sellers, which is competing with your agents for business. Oh, but guess what happens, guys? When you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Guess what? Now you don't have to spend any money marketing your company or competing with your agents for business. Actually, what you prefer to do is invest all of your money into your agents through training, education, technology, support, profit share, because ultimately, you know, this is the best place for them to run their businesses at. Now, before I go deeper into that, does that connection between agent loyalty and the lack of agent loyalty, and whether or not a real estate company would be willing to invest in their agents versus compete with them, does that make a little sense what I'm saying? Because I'm about to go deeper, and I'm going to use some logic here, if that's okay. I'm going to throw a couple logical thoughts out to you guys. I want you to add them together. You tell me if I'm making sense today. Okay, there's a very basic business concept, and that business concept says it costs any business in any industry roughly 7 times more money to acquire a new customer versus retaining an existing one. Forget about the ratio. Do we not all agree, regardless of what industry a business is in, it's going to cost them more money to acquire a new customer versus retaining an existing one? Hopefully we all agree with that because it's a fact, okay? Now here comes the big one, and I really want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. I believe the biggest difference between Keller Williams and our competition is this. Guys, our competition, they think their customers are their franchise holders and now their shareholders. We think our customers are our agent stakeholders. Let me say that again. The biggest difference between Keller Williams and our competition thinks their customers are their franchise holders, who, by the way, they spend all that money marketing towards home buyers and sellers to generate leads that their agents are dependent on, and now they're shareholders. We think our customers are our agent stakeholders. And guess what, guys? When you build a real estate company where you don't have to worry about losing your customers, i.e. your agents, because there's not a better place for them to run their businesses at, well, then you don't need to spend any money trying to acquire new customers, do you? But when you see our competition spending all their money marketing their company, they are marketing their company to home buyers and sellers on behalf of their franchise holders and to future shareholders, because they're having a real hard time keeping their real customers, which are their agents. KW doesn't need to spend millions of dollars a year telling home buyers and sellers how great all of you are. All we got to do is attract the agents that value what we value, simply keep you and your customers. Now, hopefully that makes a little sense, because I hope you guys would also agree that the healthiest and most profitable real estate agent businesses are word of mouth and referral based, not marketing dollar based. Agree? So hello, don't you want your real estate company to be built the same way? I mean, isn't that what we are? A word of mouth referral based company, not a marketing dollar based company? Gee whiz, maybe that's why we have zero debt. Maybe that's why we're going to still give back over $80 million in this shift this year, while our competition, who is marketing dollar based, is imploding financially and selling off stock in their company like it's a fire sale. And guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. You have that conversation with another agent and they don't get that, move on and talk to somebody else, because they ain't thinking like a business owner. Imagine you have the #1 real estate team in Princeton. It's 100% word of mouth and referral based. I don't know, that'd be a pretty profitable business, yeah? I'm thinking I want my real estate company to be built the same way too. And guys, I started this journey back in 2005 when we were the #5 real estate company in the US. We had about 32,000 agents. Now that we're #1 in every category, we have zero debt and we're still very profitable. My new narrative is either you get it or you don't. And I'll just tell you this right now, that applies to everybody on this call too. Either you get it or you don't. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter. We will continue to steamroll through Princeton and across this industry with or without you, okay? The only question is you want your unfair share. Now, I think it's fair to say, if my real estate company values its brand as its greatest asset, it spends all of its money marketing its brand to home buyers and sellers, and it sells off stock around its brand, I'm going to take a wild guess and say they're turning around and training their agents to market the exact same brand too. You think at Sotheby's they're teaching their agents how to brand and market their own businesses, or are they training them how to market the Sotheby's brand? Okay, so here's the next great effect of creating agent loyalty. Now you can become an agent branded company versus a company branded company. And let's get real, guys. Are we not the leaders in this industry, hands down, for teaching agents how to brand and market their own businesses first? I mean, hello, Gary Keller introduced this concept to the industry. And Gary has an absolutely brilliant quote about this. Here's what Gary says. Gary says at Keller Williams, the agent is the brand of recognition. Keller Williams is the brand of reputation. Think about that. At Keller Williams, the agent is the brand of recognition. Keller Williams is the brand of reputation. Another way of saying that, we're the only real estate company that's willing to stand behind our agents versus in front of them.
Guys, all of our traditional competition is trying to convince their own agents and home buyers and sellers the exact opposite. We're the only company that systematically trains our agents to brand and market their own businesses. Our marketing is your signs going in sellers' yards. You with me? So here's what I want you to consider. When we teach agents how to brand and market their own businesses first, aren't we making it easier for you to leave Keller Williams? If you want to leave Keller Williams today and you're marketing your own business powered by Keller Williams, the only thing you would have to do is change the name of the real estate company at the bottom of your marketing and your business would not miss a beat. Gee, I wonder why we're the only real estate company in this industry that's training agents how to leave our company more easily. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that we know this is the best place for you to run your businesses at. Because if we thought there was a better place, we'd be training you to market our company first. And guys, I'll just tell you right now, it ain't a secret why an agent who's been trained to market their company's logo their entire career are scared to leave their company. They're so tethered to that company's brand that they've been trained to market their entire career. The idea of leaving that company, going to another real estate company and having to reinvent their entire brand and lose all of their marketing momentum scares the crap out of them. Oh yeah, that's exactly how their real estate company wants it. Scared to leave. Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome, yes? I mean, guys, if you're being trained to market the RE/MAX balloon for 20 years as the primary brand for your real estate business, and A, you want to retire, that's the last day you ever make a cent from your real estate career. B, if you're going to leave RE/MAX and go to another company, you got to reinvent your entire brand. You're going to lose all of your marketing momentum, and that's going to scare you. And that's exactly how RE/MAX wants it. They want their agents scared to leave. They want them thinking that a balloon is the reason people hire them, because they know there's a better place for their agents to run their businesses at. Okay? Now let's go one step further here. There's some really nice people at your competition there in Princeton who buy into teamwork and they're nice people. But I think it's fair to say there is no incentive in their model. There is no why in their models for agents to work together and care about each other. Okay? There's just some nice people over there. So here's what I want you to consider. Not only is there no incentive at your competition for agents to work together and care about each other, hello, they're all being trained to market the exact same brand. And if you don't think the person sitting next to you at Sotheby's, who's being trained to market Sotheby's just like you, if you don't think that person is your greatest competition, you are clueless. They are marketing the exact same brand as you. Do you actually think a seller in Princeton is going to interview multiple Sotheby's agents that are marketing Sotheby's? Probably not. But will they interview multiple Keller Williams agents that are marketing their own business and their own team? Probably. Yes, we're all independent contractors. Yes, we're fighting over business, but we're not being trained to fight over Keller Williams, are we? So guys, at Keller Williams, there's a real incentive here for agents to work together and care about each other. And we're all being trained to brand and market our own businesses first. At our competition, there is no incentive to work together or care about each other. And they're all being trained to fight over the same brand with each other. Oh yeah, and their company that's spending all that money marketing the exact same brand as them. I hope you got something out of that. Third arrow is going to be lead generation. Hand them the fish or teach them how to fish. Let's get real. This is what we do best, right? I mean, see the MREA book, see a culture of sharing. The sole purpose of our billion-dollar platform is to help you lower your technology costs, increase your conversions, and out Zillow. There is no question we are the leaders in this industry on teaching agents how to generate their own business. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why we're the leaders in this industry on teaching agents how to generate their own business. I don't know. It could have something to do with the fact that we know this is the best place for you to run your businesses at. Because guys, if we thought there was a better place, I promise you this, we'd be spending all of our money competing with you for business. We'd be training you to market our company. We'd have corporate relocation relationships, and we'd be touting phone duty as a value proposition here. Does my listings, my leads ring a bell for anybody on this call? You think that's the way it works at other real estate companies? No chance. All right, let me give you the magic word of the day. Here comes the magic word of the day. Pay attention. Here it comes. Magic word of the day is control. Remember how I said real estate companies used to control the business? They used to control access into homes. Remember that? Well, guess what? The second they lost control of that, they've been trying to control their agents ever since. And Gary Keller's just the first person to come along to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give up control of my company. I'm going to give up half my profits. I'm going to invest in my agents versus compete with them. I'm going to teach them how to brand and market their own businesses, which makes it easier for them to leave. And I'm going to relinquish the control of the leads to my agents versus trying to control the business and compete with them. Look what he's gotten back in return. Oh, guys, it is abundance versus scarcity, plain and simple. And just know this, it pays to be the first. It pays to be the first interdependent agent-centric real estate company. Good luck replicating 37 years of culture, 37 years of models and systems and technology. We ain't even the company you're trying to emulate anymore, okay? Fourth arrow is the conversation of the moment, and that would be tech-enabled agents versus agent-enabled tech, all right? And obviously Keller Williams and our agents are the tech-enabled agents. And Gary says it best. He said it's going to be the battle over who's going to be the rock star in real estate moving forward. Is it going to be tech or is it going to be the agents? And he said the good news is you get to decide. Do you want to be the fiduciary agent who's enabled by the functionary tech? Or do you want to be the functionary agent that's enabled by the fiduciary tech? Let me translate that for you. Do you want to be a real estate business owner? Or do you want to be a low-paying functionary of a Wall Street-backed tech disruptor? Guys, there's a reason we need you to evolve our tech, okay? We're in the middle of a war for the future of your profession. And if our tech does not deliver a better experience than Zillow and Redfin, you guys are not going to have a job in 10 years or less, okay? And so here's the deal. When you talk about our technology, your natural instincts are going to be to talk about it from the what. You're going to want to talk about, Command and Kelly and AI and campaigns and opportunities. All these things are what's. They do not drive behavior. You need to learn to talk about our tech from the why and from the who. And one of my favorite quotes comes from Josh Team, our president, who's driving our billion-dollar tech platform. And he said it best, guys. I answer to one billionaire, and he's a realtor, okay? Just know this, guys, the reason why we have the best technology is we're not only led by the most innovative mind this industry's ever seen, he is driven by a big why of saving agents from an industry that's trying to eliminate them. And he has built this billion-dollar proprietary tech platform in collaboration with our agents to help them lower their tech costs and help them out Zillow. Okay, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let me take you through a little exercise of coming from the what versus coming from the why. Here's coming from the what. Oh my God, I love Keller Williams. We have the best training, education, technology, and culture, and we're just one big happy family over here. Now that's true, but people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Here's how I say the exact same thing, except I come from the why. You know why Keller Williams has the best training, technology, and culture? It's actually pretty simple to figure out. You see, at Keller Williams, we value our agents as our greatest asset, not our company's brand. So instead of spending millions of dollars a year marketing the KW logo to home buyers and sellers, which by the way would be competing with our agents for business, yeah, we don't spend any money marketing our company and competing with our agents for business. Actually, what we prefer to do is invest all of our money into our agents through training, technology, support, and profit share. And what takes our training and education to the highest level is everything we do as a real estate company is built around teaching agents how to build their own real estate businesses around their own brand, where they are learning how to generate their own leads and build leverage in their businesses and lives. And as a result of this, we're the only real estate company to make $1 billion investment in a proprietary tech platform that we built in collaboration with our agents that's designed to help them lower their technology costs and help them out Zillow. Oh, and I almost forgot. The money's better here too. Okay. And guys, just know this. I can attract people to KW all day long. Never even talk about the money. All I got to make them understand is why and how we're different. And I'll let Frank talk about the money and all the what's, which, by the way, are all better here. Okay. Next two arrows are going to fall under operating model. Now, we know in Princeton, your cap up there is 21 plus 3. And guys, obviously, it varies from market to market. It's tied to economic conditions, operating expenses, average sales price. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to say the average cap in Keller Williams is about 25,000. So think about this for a second. Why or how can Keller Williams only take out a maximum, on average, of about $25,000 per agent, yet have zero debt and still give back over $80 million in profit share in a shifting market when we're only taking out a maximum of $25,000 per year? All right, well, there's two reasons why we can do that. First reason, operating model, okay? Do we spend millions and millions of dollars a year marketing the KW logo? No, we spend no money marketing our company. Now, I got an email a couple years ago from a guy named Joe Williams, and that would be Joe Williams of Keller Williams. I am not dropping names. I'm telling you what happened. He sent me an email and said, Aaron, I've been watching you. And usually when I get that kind of message, I'm in serious trouble, okay? But here's what Joe Williams said that I thought was brilliant. Joe Williams said the secret to KW success up until now has been the market center model. And I want you guys to pay attention, okay? Here's the deal. Our traditional competition is built around the way the industry used to work when they controlled the business. We're built around the way the industry works today. Agents drive the business. They're brand centric. We're agent centric. They spend millions of dollars a year marketing their company. We spend no money marketing our company. They have thousands and thousands of real estate offices. RE/MAX has over 6,500 offices worldwide. Think about it, guys, for a second. Back when you controlled the business, right? Yeah, it made sense to spend all that money marketing your logo. It made sense to have an office on every block. Hey, the more offices you got, the more brand exposure you got, and the more control of the business you have. There's only one problem. It kind of costs a lot of money to operate thousands of real estate offices and support a multi-million-dollar national brand advertising campaign. That might be why you're now a publicly traded company with all that debt. Here's the great thing about KW. We only got 830 market centers worldwide. Do we need to have an office on every block? No. We need a centralized market center for agents to come together, share ideas, then you go out into the market and you market KW by sticking your signs in sellers' yards. So two reasons why we can be so profitable and have zero debt when we're only capping our agents' commissions at $25,000. We have very low operating expenses, and we're the best place for agents that think like business owners to run their businesses at. And when you got low expenses and you're the best place for agents to run their businesses at, you just keep adding more and more agents to become more and more profitable. Guys, in the last 15 years, the average agent count for a KW Market Center has gone from 115 to well over 200. Coincidentally, profit shares absolutely exploded. Here's the cool thing about a KW Market Center, guys. It costs a KW Market Center basically the same amount of money to operate with 200 agents as it does with 400 agents. My guess is Princeton is right at the point where everybody you attract and retain in that market center is pure profit, okay? Now, let's stop for 1 second here, because guess what? There's a new model in town, the virtual model. Oh, it's gonna do to real estate what Amazon has done to retail. I'm sure you've heard this one, okay? Here's the deal. We all agree Amazon is shaking up retail, but guys, know this, 80% of all retail is still done face-to-face, and there's a reason Amazon bought Whole Foods and is opening up bookstores, okay? The bottom line is this. These virtual real estate companies with virtually no operating expenses, they are going to take a chunk out of these brand-centric traditional real estate companies, okay? We all agree that home buyers and sellers ain't walking into offices to find their agents anymore. But here is what protects us from the virtual movement, guys. One, we do not run market centers to attract home buyers and sellers, do we? No. We run market centers for our customers. which are our agent stakeholders, to deliver our interdependent value proposition. That's number one. Number two, I talked a little bit about, there's this new MAPS course out called How to Build a $1 Million Market Center. The two foundational principles are purpose and community. So here's the deal, Frank. As we come out of this crisis and get back to whatever the new normal is going to be, you guys better build a market center that is a physical destination that compels your agents to come in physically. Because there's always a top agent willing to teach a class. There's always an overflowing training calendar. There's a sense of purpose. There's a sense of community there. Because if you guys don't build that, a publicly traded, revenue sharing virtual real estate company is going to look a lot more attractive to your agents. The bottom line is this: if we are truly delivering on purpose and community and delivering on this value proposition, we should never lose agents to one of those companies, ever. But in the absence of value, price will be the determining factor. All right, let me bring this back for a second. So at Sotheby's or any of these other traditional companies, I was at Coldwell Banker. The highest commission split you could work your way up to at Coldwell Banker was about 80-20 until you said you wanted to leave. And that's when they would pull the 90-10 split out of their back pocket. It's like trying to cancel your Comcast subscription. You only get the deal once you say you want to cancel. Now here's the deal. If you're a $1 million commission agent at one of these traditional companies and you're on a 90-10 split, you're still paying them out 6 figures a year, correct? So here's a question for you. Who do you think they give preferential treatment to over there? Who do you think gets the best leads at Sotheby's? The brand new agent, the struggling agent, or the top agent who pays them out 6 figures a year? Obviously, the top agent gets the best leads and the preferential treatment, okay? As they should. And I'm not lying to you when I say at Coldwell Banker, there were neighborhoods I could not market in because top agents owned neighborhoods. And I do exactly the same thing. And Frank will tell you, one of the biggest challenges we face at this company is trying to offset these sweetheart deals that our traditional competition is offering their top agents to keep them. Well, check this out, guys. You know what a sweetheart deal is? It's just another form of broker Stockholm syndrome. Oh, here's a 90-10 split, knowing you'll do more business, net more money, and build a better quality of life at Keller Williams. Well, you guys want the #1 slam dunk comment you can make to a brand new struggling or new agent? Here it comes. If you join KW, if you join the Princeton Market Center, the second you walk through that front door, you are valued exactly the same in the eyes of this market center as the #1 in individual agent. You're both only worth $21,000 in company dollars. And guess what? At KW, guys, everyone is equal or everyone is valued the same. I don't know about you. That's a big deal in my book. A capper is a capper is a capper, yeah? Now, is a first-year capper worth the same amount of money as Ben Kinney? No. I'm talking scripts today. And guys, I hope the vibe you're getting from my session today, this ain't a profit share class. This is a stakeholder meeting. And if you're starting to think like a stakeholder, let me tell you how you need to start thinking. The success of this company you got a stake in is not just rooted in being in business with the top producing agents in Princeton, guys. It's actually rooted in being in business with the most producing agents in Princeton. It's agent count, it's agent production. And I'll just tell you this right now. If all you did was help turn your non-cappers into cappers, all of your profit share checks would absolutely explode, okay? And I'm sure there's some cappers on this call. Let me tell you something, guys. I love you, okay? I want you to have huge lives. I want you to close a lot of deals at 100%. But just know this. You ain't worth anything to me anymore. You're keeping 100% of your commission. What I need is more of your agents in production. That's how we generate company dollar. That's how we generate profit share. And one of my favorite lines about KW is if you ever want to turn one of your agents into a raving fan for this company, just help turn a non-capper into a capper, okay? Now, I taught this class in Boca Raton, Florida a couple years ago. One of our top agents, Jackie Ellis, is in that office. When I got to this point, she said something really powerful. She said, Aaron, at my former company, I was the #1 agent, and I did get preferential treatment, and everybody in my office resented me. And it was a relief to come to a real estate company where I was treated the same. I thought that was a really interesting way to look at that. Some top agents don't want to be in an office where people resent them. I tell you what, I resented that agent that owned that neighborhood I grew up in over at Caldwell Banker that I could not market in, okay? All right, here comes my 20-second elevator script. I've never said it in an elevator, and I'm going to say this multiple times as I go through this. Psyched to hear Jackie Ellis is going to be speaking with you on Tuesday. She's awesome. All right, here's the deal. Here comes my 20-second elevator script. Imagine a real estate company. Imagine a real estate company, and all I need is John Lennon on the piano here to take it home. Imagine a real estate company where there is a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other. Hey, imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other. Where all the agents are being trained, where all the agents are being trained to brand and market their own businesses first. Where all the agents are being trained to brand and market their own businesses first. Versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand. Okay, let's do that again. Imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other, where all the agents are being trained to brand and market their own businesses first, versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand, and where every agent is valued the same. Let's do it one more time from the top with a little hot sauce. Here we go. Hey, can you just imagine a real estate company where there's a true incentive for agents to work together and care about each other? Oh, by the way, in this industry we've always been in, that's been dog eat dog, where all the agents are being trained to brand and market their own businesses first, versus all being trained to directly compete with each other and their company for the same brand, and where every agent is valued the same. I mean, can you imagine a real estate company like that? Oh God, I almost forgot too. The money's better here too. And I saved the money till the end because by the time I've gotten to this point, they're going to want to find out more about Keller Williams. And when I serve them up to Frank on a silver platter and he shows them how they can earn more than 100% of their commission and build a retirement plan, that's what you call a Kaufman slam dunk. Hashtag Jewish Jordan. But here's the deal. If I had led with the money, you would have thought I was trying to sell you something. Oh my God, you got to come to KW. You can earn more than 100% of your commission. You can build a retirement plan. Yeah, that sounds like Aaron's trying to sell me something. It also sounds like every conversation I have ever had with an EXP agent, okay? In the absence of value, price is the only conversation, okay? Your job is to make them understand why and how we're different. Let Frank show them why all the what's which are better here. All right, last arrow is going to be quality control. And I'm going to quote my former OP, Sean Rawls, who said it best. We work in an industry where idiots and experts get paid exactly the same amount. Oh, they don't earn the same amount, but they get paid the same amount. Hopefully you guys all agree the standards to be a real estate agent in New Jersey, way too low. Yes? And it should mean something to you. It really should. That you're not just a part of a real estate company. Oh no, you're a part of the #1 real estate company in every category. Has zero debt, very profitable in this shift, and is the best place for agents who think like business owners to run their businesses at. We got something you might be familiar with. It's called leverage. You guys familiar with that concept of leverage? Because let me tell you something. When you have leverage in an industry with such low standards, you know what that means? You don't have to hire everybody that walks in the door with a real estate license, like a lot of our competition does. And if you think our competition, who has billions of dollars in debt, who doesn't invest in their agents and trains them to market their company, if you think for 1 second they're turning people away, you're crazy. Here's the other side of the quality control coin. Just because you're a top agent at another company does not mean you operate with a high level of integrity, right? So Frank, if you're a top agent at one of your competitors there in Princeton, but you got a bad reputation or you're known to be unethical, I have a feeling that Frank is not going to attract that agent to your market center, jeopardize your reputation and your culture for $21,000. We don't care how much business you do. Oh, you think our competition is going to turn away agents that might pay them 6 figures a year? You're crazy. And here's where I'm going with this, guys. Who cares? And I mean seriously. Who cares how much money your real estate company spends telling everybody how great your agents are if you don't have any real standards on who you allow to market your brand? What is in the value of a real estate company's brand reputation? How much money you spend telling everybody how great you are, or the quality of agents that have the privilege of utilizing your brand? Now that we're the #1 company in every category, I'm just going to say our brand recognition and reputation is as good, if not better, than our competition's. And we don't need to spend millions of dollars a year trying to make it mean something. All we got to do, guys, is attract the agents that value what we value, keep you and your customers. So when you build a real estate company, agents will never want or need to leave. Now you're willing to invest in them versus compete with them. Now you're willing to teach them how to brand their own businesses versus train them to market your company. Now you're willing to relinquish the control of the leads to your agents versus trying to control the business and compete with them. And as a result of this, you're willing to make $1 billion investment in a proprietary tech platform that you built in collaboration with your agents that's designed to lower their technology costs and help them out Zillow. And as a result of being the best real estate company for agents to run their businesses at and having low operating expenses, you can cap your commissions, which results in every agent being valued the same and having quality control in an industry with very low standards. And before I forget, every real estate company has agent loyalty. The only question is that loyalty rooted in fear or abundance? Hashtag broker Stockholm syndrome. Because Frank, you can create loyalty through fear, right? By not teaching your agents how to lead generate at a high level, by trying to convince them it's the company's logo that's driving their business, by holding their listings hostage. That's one way to create loyalty. You know another way? Just give your agents everything they want and need. What kind of company you want to be in business with? Next concept comes from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. And in those books, Robert Kiyosaki says there's 4 ways you can earn money. 4 ways to earn money: employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. 4 ways you can earn money: employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. Check this out. Left side of this graph, 95% of the world. Right side of this graph, 5% of the world. This 95%, they only earn 5% of the wealth. This 5%, they earn 95% of the wealth. Now I want you to think about these quadrants from a leverage standpoint. Here's your employee. They have a job. They are the leverage. Self-employed person has created a job. They still don't have any leverage. Business owner is leveraging systems and people. Investor is leveraging money. Now I want you to think about it this way. Here's your employee / dependent agent / dependent company. Here's your self-employed person / independent agent / independent company. Right side of this graph is Keller Williams. We want to teach independent agents the benefit of being at an interdependent company, because you got to be ready to be independent first before you value interdependence. Once we get this independent agent over here, we try to get them to buy into our interdependent value proposition. We start teaching them how to think like a true business owner, how to lead generate at a high level, how to attract talent and leverage systems so they can focus on what they love to do. And by the way, isn't profit share just leveraging money as well? Here's my point. If you just want to make a point really fast, just ask them, what side of the business you want to be on? The 95% that earns 5% of the wealth, or the 5% that earns 95% of the wealth? And Frank, you need to ask your own agents the same question. Ask your own agents what side of this graph they want to be on. And when, of course, they say, I want to be on this side, Frank, here's what your response is to them. Well, then why do you never come into the office? Why do you never teach classes? Why do you never seek out knowledge and referrals outside your market center? Why do you keep buying leads from Zillow? Why do you not help us evolve our tech? Why do you not participate in profit share? I mean, you can be an independent agent at Keller Williams, yeah? Doesn't mean you're taking advantage of our value proposition. And I know EXP is not big up there right now, but just to get ahead of them, check this out. Guys, this is EXP right there. They're teaching independent agents how to leverage revenue share and stock options. Guys, this is KW. We're not just teaching you how to run a real estate business. We are literally the only company fighting for the future of your profession. And we're not just teaching you how to sell real estate. We're teaching you how to build a life by design, of which one aspect is building wealth through profit share. Now, I'm right on time because I'm about to teach you profit share. Take me 5 to 10 minutes. If you have any questions or ahas, you can throw them in the chat box, okay? Or we can talk about it at the end of this. But I'm going to teach profit share because I know none of you know how it works. Nobody in Keller Williams knows how profit share works. Best kept secret in Keller Williams. Imagine what could happen if we let the secret out. All right, here's profit share. At Keller Williams, you have a potential profit share tree that can go 7 levels deep. This is only in North America. I mean, it's 7 levels deep everywhere, but in North America, it's profit share. Outside of North America, it's called revenue share or growth share. That's a whole nother conversation. This is only for recruits you bring to KW in North America. Anybody you attract to KW, they're on your first level. The percentage there is 50%. Anybody they attract is 10%, 5% on your third, 5% on your fourth, 7.5% on your fifth, 10% on your sixth, 12.5% on your seventh. 50, 10, 5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5. All 7 levels will add up to 100%. Now, there's some myths around our profit sharing model. The first most ridiculous myth, of course, is we're a pyramid scheme. And after I'm done laughing when somebody says that, I try to remind them that pyramid schemes are illegal. They are illegal. We're the largest real estate company on this planet. I'm going to take a wild guess and say we're not an illegal company. Less than 30% of our agents even participate in profit share. If it was a pyramid scheme, wouldn't we all be participating in it? It doesn't cost any money to participate in it. You don't have to buy product that you have to sell. And I hope today we've established if you never earn a cent in profit share, it's still the best place for you to run your business at. It's the effect of treating your agents like stakeholders. Another big myth about profit share, guys, is you had to be one of our founding agents to really take advantage of it. I'll just tell you right now, I could not disagree more with that statement. Our founding agents like Althea Osborne and Linda McKissick, guys, they had to convince agents we were even a legitimate business model for a real estate company. We got to do that today? No chance, right? We're number 1 in every category. Also, we were not even profitable for the first 14 years as a company. So that means these founding agents were growing this company on faith. Let me just throw a number out here for you. You guys know through the history of this company through right now, we have given back over $1.4 billion in profit share in the history of our company. That's pretty impressive, yeah? You know what's more impressive than that? I will guarantee you right now, we'll give back more than that in the next 8 years. 37 years for $1.4 billion, 8 years for the next $1.4 billion. You know what the best part about it is? We're still the best kept secret in our industry and in our company. Oh, you just wait till the secret gets out and the rest of this industry starts to realize, oh yeah, there's only one company fighting for the future of my profession, okay? Now, let me take you through an example so you can see how this works. You attract an agent to KW, and for the sake of this conversation, I'm gonna say this agent does $1 million in transactions in a month. I'm just using a nice big round number. Don't get scared by that, but that's not crazy talk, right? We'll say the average commission on those transactions was 3%. That recruit you brought to KW just did $30,000 in gross commission income. Now, you guys, I hope, understand that if this recruit has already paid out their cap, they will keep 100% of that money. They will not contribute any money to their market center till their year starts over again and their cap resets. So this example is pre-cap, yes? So doesn't that mean everybody's valued the same in the eyes of profit share too, right? First year cap are worth exactly the same amount of money in profit share as a $20 million individual agent, okay? Guys, I heard a quote from Gary Keller that kicked off my whole focus on profit share. He said, many of the leaders of this industry 5 years from now, they're not even in the business yet. Just remember this, you can never predict who someone might become and who they might attract to KW. I was a very mediocre agent at Coldwell Banker, okay? And not only have I sponsored the third most people in the history of Keller Williams, the two people above me are in my downline. So, you know, I'm just saying, you never know who someone might become. All right. Now, people in this company just love to say we're on a 70-30 split. You know, I'm not really good at math, but I'm pretty sure 70-30 minus 6% is not 70-30. Okay. We can stop the smoke and mirrors now. All I care about is when I pay out $24,000, I keep 100% of my commission for the rest of my year. So in this example, this recruit is not capped. They're keeping 64% of that commission. They're giving 6% to KWRI. That's the $3,000 you pay out. And they're contributing 30% to their office. In this example, that recruit just contributed $9,000 in company dollar to their market center. Let's say that their market center that month brings in a total of $90,000 in company dollar from all the other agents that are not capped that were in production. And we're going to say the expenses of that market center that month were $50,000. So that market center that recruit was in had a $40,000 profit that month. Now, a couple of things here, guys. Are we worried somebody's cooking the books here? No, we're an open book company. All right. Second of all, who decides where that profit's being spent? The ALC and leadership, right? These are bigger conversations in this equation, right? We're open book, we make decisions, and just to make sure you're following me, guys, if this number is 0, the equation ends. Our culture starts with profit share, guys. This is why it's different here. I don't care if your recruit did a $10 million deal. If their market center is not profitable, there's no profit sharing. Now, hold on tight. It's going to get a little crazy. I want you to understand this conceptually. There's actually a 3-tiered payout when a KW office is profitable. Here's the payout. From 0 in profits in a month to X dollars in profit in a month, it's only 25% goes to the agents. 75% goes to the owners. From X to Y in profit in a month, it's 35% to the agents, 65% to the owners. Everything over Y in profit in a month, which is $11,240 in profit, 50-50. What you need to hear from what I just said is the more profitable this market center is, the greater percentage of the profits go back to the agents. Our culture starts with profit share. Now, I look at owner profit, company-wide. I look at agent profit, company-wide. I am personally comfortable with saying, on average, 55% to the owners, 45% to the agents. You do the math, guys. 22,000 in profits to the owners, 18,000 in profits to the agents. Now, what is so terrible about a real estate company where, by the way, owners have all of the capital investment, all of the risk, all of the liability, all of the responsibility? They're getting back almost the same amount of profits to the agents that have no capital investment, no risk, no liability, no responsibility, okay? And as my man Dave Jenks would say, if this market center goes into the negative, owners have to come out of their pockets. Agents never have to pay into profit share. It can only be positive, okay? What better way to grow a real estate company than reward your agents for growing it? Hello? My guess is if they're vested financially in your company, they'll buy into your culture more and they're less likely to leave. Now, every month, every KW office will calculate what's called a profit share factor. I just want you to understand this conceptually, guys. Every month, they calculate their profit share factor by taking the amount of money that month going back to the agents. In this example, 18,000. They divide it by company dollar. In this example, is 90,000. You do the math. This market center has a 20% profit share factor. Just trust me, that's how that works. Here's how you make money. The agent you brought to that office contributed $9,000 in company dollar. 9,000 times 20% equals $1,800 in agent profit share. That is how much money in agent profit share that recruit you brought to that market center generated. And guys, since you sponsored them, they're on your first level. You just made 50% of that money. You just made $900 for doing nothing. And just to put that in perspective, you make $900 in profit share in a month. That's the passive income equivalent, as if you had put $270,000 invested annually at 4%. That's the monthly passive income equivalent of having $270,000 invested at 4%. Okay? The person that sponsored you to KW, that recruits on their second level, they make 180 and so forth and so on. Now look, I deliberately drew this to show you your potential tree going down. Truth is, profit share money flows up. Imagine I'm this recruit. You brought me to KW. I have generated $1,800 in agent profit share off of my production. Guys, that money's going 7 levels above me, rewarding the 7 agents that brought me to KW. My sponsor makes 50%. My sponsor makes 10%. My sponsor makes 5%. I don't make 1 dime in profit share off of my own production. And while I'm thinking about it, you are not paying your sponsors profit share, guys. The owners of your market center are. Here's a heads up for everybody. Sponsorship and mentorship have nothing to do with each other. Profit share is a reward for growing Keller Williams, period, end of story. Now, do not mistake what I just said as you don't want to make a difference in your recruits' lives. Of course you do. You're vested in their success. But know this, your sponsors owe you nothing, okay? They earn every cent they make in profit share by introducing you to Keller Williams, okay? And when people in this company start tethering sponsorship and mentorship together, you're acting like we're a revenue sharing company and you're diluting our model. We are all vested in everybody's success. Now, if you join KW before April 1st of this year, after 3 years and 1 day, you're vested for the rest of your life. You can leave Keller Williams. You can go to another company. You can still sponsor people after you leave. You just have to pay your $25 annual vesting fee. If you join KW after the 1st of April of this year, vesting is now 7 years and 1 day. And if you leave and go to one of our competitors, we reserve the right to take that profit share back, okay? Now, guys, it's been a long session. Let's finish strong. And if you have any questions, you can ask them after my big finish. Here comes the big finish. Imagine somebody you trusted and respected. They came to you and they said, hey, I got a super hot stock tip for you. And you are right now one of only 180,000 people that have the option to buy this stock. This company is now the #1 company in their industry. They did it in only 35 years without spending a dime marketing themselves. They got 0 debt. They're going to give back over $1 billion to their shareholders in the next 5 to 6 years. And they're about to go through one of the biggest growth spurts in the history of their company in this present shift. And they're still the best kept secret in their industry. And you know what the best thing about this stock is, guys? It's absolutely free. And I'm the guy that's here today to tell you, if you don't start thinking about building wealth through KW profit share, like buying stock in this company, you're going to miss out on one of the biggest wealth building opportunities of your lifetime. I believe to my core, this is Google, this is Amazon, this is Zoom of the real estate industry. And like I said before, whether you get it or not, absolutely irrelevant. We will continue to steamroll through this industry with or without you. The only question is, do you want your hashtag unfair share? Because I'll tell you what, if you don't want it, oh man, I'll be more than happy to take it. And I'm done, Frank. Back to you guys on your end. I hope you guys got some thoughts out of this, some ahas. I want to recap your action steps real fast. Listen to Gary Keller's podcast. Get into the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group and read the Shift book. And then join the Profit Share Mastermind group that I co-manage on Facebook. It's called Profit Share Mastermind KW. We have almost 40,000 of our most purposeful associates in it. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if you just did those 3 things, there is not one agent at any experience level, at any production level, at any company that you can't have a high-level conversation with. It's stakeholders versus shareholders. It's interdependence versus independence. It's abundance versus scarcity. It's Gary Keller versus what? Let's get real. I'll just tell you right now, Gary Keller's my why. He's my who. I'll run through a freaking brick wall for that guy. And as long as that guy's running this company, I know everything at this company's better. I just know it is because it's all tethered to his why. All right, guys, questions, thoughts, anything you want to throw my way here?
Well, I'll just kick it off. Aaron, I've seen and heard a lot of this before, but to watch you pull it all together so succinctly is just incredible. I'm going to go back personally and watch this a few more times myself.
I mean, you do it 1,000 times, you tend to tweak it out a little bit, but yeah. Look, the great thing about this, Frank, is honestly, like, it's the truth, right? And what people need to understand is, one of the biggest things that I struggle with is when I refer an agent to a market center that's not following our model. Okay. It's important for me to believe, okay, to be authentic in my conversations. So what I want people to understand is this. This is how I see Keller Williams, okay? And that's what makes this so amazing, right? Like when you start thinking and acting like a stakeholder, you can actually be a part of the change, the part of the positive change. So look, KW is not perfect, and the reason it's not perfect is that humans are not perfect, okay? So we have a choice as a stakeholder. Do we cross our fingers and hope everybody figures it out? Or do we become a part of the positive change, right? And so when I talk about Keller Williams, I believe in what I'm saying because it's how I see it, right? And the more you think and act like a stakeholder, the more you are part of the change, the more authentic, the more you believe in it, and the more I think people hear that in the conversations, right? I'm not trying to recruit you to Keller Williams. What I'm trying to figure out is, do you value what we value? Because if you did, you'll be grateful to me if I can get you here, right? Anybody else have a thought, a question, anything you want to throw out to me?
Hi, yes, my name is Juanita. I do. Actually, it's to you and actually to the office admin,
Yeah.
whoever set this up, because in combination with Linda, was that yesterday or the day before, my days are running together. So Linda really covered how to actually find the agents and what you would do, what would be the approach, because it's a work in progress. It's a long-term process.
Yep.
Then you actually tied it all together to say the why.
Yes.
Why? Because I have heard that before, the why in the circle. Someone presented that to me before, and it's so true because sales has changed throughout the decades where we're regurgitating, this is what we have, this is what we have. So you've done an awesome job today. It's the first time profit share has ever been explained to me. I did benefit from it one time and I wasn't even active as an agent. And I'm like, oh, what's that? Why did that come through? And I realized it was someone that I had brought into Keller Williams at a different location.
Yeah. And look, I hear that all the time, Wendy. People are like, oh my God, I got a profit share check in my account. I didn't even know I sponsored somebody. Imagine what would happen if you actually knew what was going on and you were purposeful about it. And so here's the thing. I love Linda McKissick more than anything. I stand on the shoulders of giants. She is one of the people that's been so good to me and has paved the way. Look, I was never a seventh level agent. Okay. I was never a mega agent. I mean, guys, I never broke 100,000 in GCI. I'm being straight up honest with you. Okay. Look, I am not an agent other agents respect. Back in the day, I had limiting beliefs, okay? I didn't feel comfortable trying to recruit people because I didn't really feel valid. That's why I went after new agents. Now, I'm not trying to dissuade you from going after experienced agents. Look, if you're an agent other agents respect, then you have the opportunity to make a difference. And there's a quote I love from Ben Kinney. He says, when you offer the best service, you owe it to people to have them work with you. At the end of the day, if you're an agent other people respect, you have to be more compelled to want to help them than you are uncomfortable in having those conversations. And the one thing I hear from everybody that joins Keller Williams from another company is, God, I should have come here sooner. Yeah. Well, maybe you would have been here sooner had somebody you had a relationship with at our company didn't wait for you to figure it out. They were more compelled to tell you how they did it. Now, here's what I want to say, Wendy. Do not limit yourself to relationships, okay? Do not limit yourself to your geographic market, okay? I have a website. I've driven well over 3 million unique visitors to my website. I'm running job ads and command campaigns in markets all around the company, okay? And you better believe I'm running ads in the most profitable markets of Keller Williams because I ain't stupid, okay? So just keep in mind that on the internet, there's a ranking section that ranks the profitability of KW market centers. But here's the deal. There's a great quote from Gary Keller that's my new motto. And he says, my persistence disguises my stupidity, okay? And I want to be real clear. I am not the best recruiter at Keller Williams. Linda McKissick is such a better recruiter than me. I'm just the most persistent and the most consistent. And, you know, I went after new agents because it was a fit for my personality. And I always tell people, if you want to have big success with profit shares, just like real estate, you got to find a lead generation source that is a fit for your personality and sustainable over time. I love new agents because they say thank you when they get off the phone. I don't want to try to cold call agents and try to recruit them. That's not me, Okay. So my thing is this: find something that's a fit for you, that works, and hammer it. And command, guys, is like it's a whole new game right now. I mean, you can literally target by email, by interest, through command. I mean, what you have to remember is this: you'll never be able to calculate your return on investment. I get all these analytical people all the time that want to reach out to me and say, Aaron, I want to get really serious about profit share, but can you tell me what the average recruit is worth? And I'm like, there's no such thing as an average recruit. How can you possibly predict who somebody might become and who they might attract to Keller Williams? I mean, look, I'll just tell you right now, I'm going to make profit share money after I'm dead. You think I can come back from the grave and calculate my return on investment? So here's the thing. I got a guy in my downline. His name is Brent Mitchell. A lot of people have heard me talk about Brent. I brought him to KW. He went out there and did it bigger than me. I've sponsored over 400 people to Keller Williams. Brent Mitchell has sponsored over 1,300 agents to Keller Williams, okay? All off the internet. Here's the deal. He looked like every other crappy lead I got 13 years ago on that day, okay? But you never know who someone's going to become and who they might attract. And when it comes to internet lead gen, just trust me when I tell you the quality is in the quantity. I know people that post Craigslist ads and job ads in Dubai, and they set up appointments with KW Dubai. Okay. So are you thinking big enough? All right. And so guys, I partner with a guy named Michael Trithart. He's a KW tech guru. We've made some simple agent recruiting websites that are cheap and functional. If you have any interest in doing internet recruiting, text the word recruit to the 5-digit number of 31996. You'll get some information on a recruiting website. But you know, my wife's been telling me for 15 years, stop going around and telling everybody what you do. And I'm like, honey, they ain't gonna do it. And to this day, they're still not doing it. I've sold over 400 websites. I'd tell you 5 of them are using them. All right. The name of the mastermind group is Profit Share Mastermind KW. It's a closed KW group with almost 40,000 people. I'm not sure which quote you want me to repeat. But many of the leaders of this industry 5 years from now are not in the business yet. I mean, think about this, guys. You know what's great about new agents? New agents don't know what a shifting market feels like, okay? They ain't crying about the sky falling. They're coming into this industry and they're selling houses. And if a new agent can build their business in a shifting market with fundamental principles, when the market shifts, they're going to be the leaders of this industry for years to come, okay? And look, experienced agents, older agents, they ain't embracing technology, okay? They got one foot out the door, okay? You know what I love about a new, young, tech-savvy agent? They got a 30, 40-year career ahead of them. How many years will they cap at KW? How many people could they attract in their 30, 40-year career, right? So, Wendy, find a source that's a fit for you. If you don't feel comfortable going after experienced agents, go find the leaders of this industry 5 years from now that are not in the business yet. You never know. You just never know. Everyone's a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Gary Keller's quote, "My persistence disguises my stupidity." I mean, let's get real. Guys, if you go to any of these events or listen to any of these top agents, they all say the same thing. It's not like they're the smartest people in the world. They just do the one thing they're supposed to do every day, right? And that's the difference. I do the one thing I need to do every day. And, you know, John Maxwell, I'm a big fan of. He said, it's not about doing it all day. It's about doing it every day. And my consistency is my greatest strength, okay? And I want you guys to understand something. If I was driven by the money, I would have given up a long time ago. You have to be driven by something more than profit share money. You have to believe that you're helping people. You have to believe in who we are as a company, what our purpose is. Think about it this way. Everybody you add to Keller Williams is another soldier in this war against Wall Street-backed tech disruptors. And the problem for our industry is that most of our agents have no idea what's happening right now, and they don't care because all they care about is getting paid next on their next check. We want agents that understand that, look, in 5 to 7 years, if you don't join the right company today, you might not be in this profession 5 to 7 years from now. And everybody that's a real estate agent right now might wake up someday and be a low-paying functionary door opener for Redfin if we don't win this fight. And know this, there's only one company that is privately held, who's led by the Steve Jobs of real estate, with a big why of saving agents from an industry that is fighting for your future. And I think if the rest of the agents in this industry knew that, they'd be here already. All right. Hey guys, thanks for having me. Reach out anytime, get in that mastermind group, commit to mastery, be compelled to help people, and you will not believe the legacy you'll be able to build. Thanks guys for having me, Frank. Appreciate it. Nicole, thanks for your help. Peace out, guys. All right. Go take ownership. Take care.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.